Welcome back to part 3 of the suspension install. This time we'll be finishing off the suspension as well as installing the brakes.
Alright, so next we're going to assemble the front swivel hubs. So we just removed this inner axle seal, which is a bit of a pain to get out. We kind of destroyed it with multi-grips and screwdrivers and pried it out. So that's the end product of removing it, and this is what the new one's supposed to look like. So yeah, we kind of destroyed it, but that's alright. The new one's going to go in now. So I've just got a socket the same size as it, so we'll just tap it in so it's even pressure when you hit it in, and it should just go in nicely. So now we're going to put the kingpin bearings in. So this is what the kingpin bearing looks like. It goes on top and the bottom of the swivel hub, and this is the base for it. So this goes around, it's a surround for the bearing, and then you've got the bottom plug as well. First thing we're going to do is put the plug in the bottom, so you press that in. Once that's in, you can then put your bearing surround in there and just give it a bit of taps with the hammer. So this hub, when I took it off, I took note of the shims that were in there. So this one had one shim at the bottom. What these are, they set the preload on the swivel hub, so you make sure steering tighter or looser kind of thing. So a lot of times when people have death wobble, the cheap and easy fix is they just remove these, but that's a dodgy fix. They're there for a reason, so you shouldn't really do that. The problem's something else, but that will solve it temporarily. Anyway, we're going to put this back in now. Grease up the kingpin bearings and bolt it all back together. So now I'm going to put these metal surrounds that go around this seal here to hold the seal in, and I've just painted them gold to go with the theme of the car. They were all like dirty before, so I grinded them off, primed them up, painted them with gold, and then also put a clear on it. So this is what they came out like, so it looks pretty good. So it'll match my whole golden black theme for the car. So yeah, now I'm just going to bolt them on. So I'm replacing all the brake lines on the Patrol with braided lines. So normally when you get a lift kit, they give you the braided lines that go from the center of the diff to the chassis. But what I've done here, I'm actually replacing the ones from the caliper to the diff as well, and then the ones from the diff to the chassis as well. So the whole system is either metal lines or braided lines, so you don't get brake fade and anything like that. Alright, now we're ready to bolt the caliper in, so we'll do that. So now it's time to put the drag link on, but before we can do that, it just comes as a bar. We've got to put the ends on it, because these ends are replaceable after a certain amount of kilometers. You're going to replace these or when they wear out. So yeah, we're just going to put the ends on and then we can put them in. These ends come in two. There's a left hand thread and a right hand thread. It's so when you loosen it, you can move the bar, I believe, to make it bigger or smaller, so you can adjust that while you do steering alignment. So this is what the ends look like. This side screws into the drag link, and then there's a bolt that goes through the top here to clamp it down once you set it at a certain length. You've also got a hole here which you have to put a grease nipple on, so you grease them every so often. And then this side goes into the steering box, or if it's the other side, the hub. and then you've got a castle nut there, which you'll tighten up, and then you put a pin in there so it doesn't loosen from vibration. Because if this comes off while driving, that means you lose all steering, so you wouldn't want that to happen. So that's why they put these extra precautions in. So now we're ready to put the tie rod in. We're going to put it in. We might have to adjust it because of the length, or you'll make the wheels kind of both tilt in or both tilt out. Obviously the steering wheel arm is really going to fine tune that, but we can roughly get it right from here. So yeah, let's do it.
Now it's time to replace all the old bearings in the hub assembly, as well as install new wheel studs so we can put our big brake kit in. Unfortunately, that's the end of this episode, but I'll leave you with a bit of a sneak peek of what's to come.